When I was just about to begin high school in Vancouver, my parents made a shocking announcement to me. We were moving to Burnaby, near Lougheed Mall, so my dad could start a business in Coquitlam. Great. Not only do I have to deal with the anxiety of starting high school, I also have to travel a great distance to get there. This was before the SkyTrain was built. Cell phones that fit in your pocket were normalized, and big hair was still acceptable. Barely. Anyhow, I survived. My dad eventually hired me to work for him at his restaurant, and once I got my license, my driver's license, when I was 16 years old, I started delivering food. And that was how I discovered this little hidden gem that we're going to talk about today. Hi, my name is Simon Liu, and I am your friend in real estate here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. The goal of this channel is to be your most trusted and reliable source of information about real estate in and around Vancouver. We aim to provide you with the most up-to-date, most interesting, and relevant information that you need to know about for your next move. If you're thinking about making a move to Vancouver and its surrounding areas, my team and I would love the opportunity to be interviewed to be your realtor. We have helped close to 1,000 families happily move up, down, and around over the last 19 years. I invite you to contact me by email or text message at the information below. Let us help you find your happy home. Somehow, this city is able to offer craft breweries, water views, forest trails, and people who look a bit too relaxed to be living in the Lower Mainland. So what's the catch? Welcome to part 2 of our 3-part series of the Tricities. Today, we'll talk about the life of the party, Port Moody. We're going to break down what it's like to live here. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, which we can fix with a few beers at one of the local breweries.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
If you're thinking about living in the Tri-Cities and you're wondering which of the 3 brings good vibes and a small town feel, then you're going to want to watch to the end of this show to see if Port Moody is for you. Fair warning, you might start browsing listings before we get to the end. I take no responsibility. Where is Port Moody? The first time I drove into Port Moody was back in the late 1990s, and it felt like someone took a small industrial town and just dropped it quietly at a hidden corner at the end of the Burrard Inlet. Back then, St. John Street was lined with small mom and pop shops and old diners that catered to the refineries and mills that occupied the town. But I found out later that this was at a time of transformation. Imperial Oil was shutting down its refinery, and the town was beginning in the beginning stages of their evolution into the city of the arts that we see today. There was a real boom during that time. Development for Newport Village was just finishing up, and construction of townhomes and single-family homes in the areas around Heritage Mountain and Heritage Woods were in full motion. Port Moody today is a vibrant, family-oriented community that blends its natural wilderness with modern urban amenities, providing a peaceful, safe, and thriving environment for families and young professionals that they yearn for. Located on the easternmost edge of the Burrard Inlet, Port Moody borders Burnaby along North Road to the west, Coquitlam to the south and east, Anmore and Balcarra to the north. Speaking of Anmore and Balcarra, these 2 villages are often spoken of as part of Port Moody, even though they are their own entities. I can understand the confusion since many of their services are provided by the Tri-Cities, including the school district. Anyhow, Port Moody is a densely populated area that is a major hub within Metro Vancouver with amazing neighborhoods like the transit-oriented hubs around Port Moody Centre, the family-friendly communities of Heritage Woods and Heritage Mountain, the scenic neighborhoods of the North Shore and Barber Street. Some of the things that people who live here love are the high quality of life due to the nature of their geographical location, the easy commute to the surrounding suburbs, 30-minute distance from downtown Vancouver, and you're right along the Evergreen SkyTrain line and the West Coast Express. You've got the ocean, mountains, breweries, and the city energy, all without the chaos. Not only is Port Moody known for Brewers Row and being the city of the arts, it's a great place to live and raise a family while still being connected to the surrounding nature and urban centers. Imagine a place where the air smells faintly of cedar, ocean salt, and a hazy IPA. A place where traffic jams are caused by a running club crossing the road at Rocky Point. And where getting wild means staying out past 9 p.m. for a live music set at the local brewery. Welcome to Port Moody, or as the locals like to call it, POMO. Port Moody is known as the City of the Arts, so there's actually a strong creative vibe here. It's also one of the few places where you can go from paddleboarding to brewery hopping in the same afternoon. And somehow, it still feels a bit like a hidden gem, even though everyone has been catching on for a number of years now. It's the kind of place where people say they can go for a quick walk, come back 3 hours later with a coffee, a pastry, and total renewal of their busy body needs. A place where people still greet each other on the street, and it's not weird to make friends in a neighborhood meetup. You live in Port Moody because you value that small town feel, and still want access to the big city amenities. And this is the part where Port Moody quietly turns into the lifestyle version of Eat, Pray, Love, with a serving of Play Dead IPA. Let's talk about getting around. Port Moody is pretty solid when it comes to transit. You've got access to the Evergreen Line, which connects you straight into Burnaby, Vancouver, Surrey, and Coquitlam. You can also hop on the West Coast Express, which is basically the calm, scenic alternative to the usual morning chaos, which will get you into downtown Vancouver in comfort. Driving? Highway 1 is a short drive away, but you also have access to Vancouver through the Barnett Highway and Lougheed Highway into Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge. So yes, you can get to places easily. Will it always be fast? Let's just say you might want to bring some snacks. But what is there to do around here? This is where Port Moody really stands out. You've got Rocky Point Park, which is basically the city's crown jewel. Trails, water views, food trucks, and in the summer it feels like everyone in the region is at your doorstep, including that one guy who brought his speakers and thinks he's the DJ for everyone. Seriously, why is there always one guy with a speaker whenever there's a crowd? Is it the same guy? Someone check on that, please. You've got the most active rec center in the region in Port Moody Recreation Center, which features a unique ice rink that houses both an NHL-sized and Olympic-sized rinks, while also a separate rink for curling. They have a beautiful, fully equipped fitness center, outdoor soccer pitch, an indoor gym, a library, and it's also attached to the Civic Center, which houses a 200-seat community theater. This is a one-stop shop for the most diverse families that you might know. Then there's Brewers Row, 6 breweries, walking distance from each other. This is like the Avengers of beer. And yes, if you try to assemble them all, you may gain superhuman strength. I know this all sounds fun until you realize your one quick drink has turned into a full tasting tour, and now you're Googling how to get home drunk with a paddleboard. If you're not the microbrewery type, you've also got solid choices of cafes, local boutique shops, and established restaurants to keep things interesting. Not to mention the ice cream parlors. The Port Moody Farmers Market is one of the best in all of the Lower Mainland, and there are enough festivals and events around town and throughout the year to keep your social life full. But here's the plot twist, and it's bigger than the end of Sixth Sense. It might be the biggest reason people move here.
I see dead people.
If you like being outside, this place is dangerous to your productivity. Not because of a chance encounter with a bear in your driveway, although I can't promise you won't experience this, but because you might not come back inside once you're out there in the wild. Your home becomes more of a storage unit, because suddenly going for a walk after dinner may end up becoming a hike to the ice cream shop. A step outside for fresh air may cause you to end up joining the communal run club, or a casual 5K run around Rocky Point. Between their shoreline trails, nearby lakes, and endless forests, Port Moody makes it very easy for you to become the kind of person who owns hiking boots, a compass, and maybe even a Gore-Tex tank top, and actually uses them. And if you don't like the outdoors, you're going to feel a little bit out of place when everyone around you is casually training for their next mountain adventure. If you're still watching, then you probably have some interest in moving to Port Moody. So I'm going to try to break this to you gently. Let's talk about the part that might burst some bubbles. I suppose living in Vancouver, you might not have any more bubbles left. Port Moody is not cheap.
I don't feel so good.
It's still part of Metro Vancouver, and prices reflect that. It has the highest priced homes out of the Tricities. You'll find a mix of condos, townhomes, and some detached homes. But compared to neighboring areas like Coquitlam and North Burnaby, you're paying a bit of a premium for the lifestyle. When you buy a home in Port Moody, you're paying for being in an area of rapid growth while giving you the perfect balance between access to nature and the city. A family-oriented community that offers parks and community events that families need for growth. Easy access to the transportation system so you can still get to the places you need to be. A place where your money is safe because the growth potential from nearby developments. So, what's all this going to cost? Let's start with rentals. As of the date of this recording, a typical 2-bedroom apartment in Vancouver rents for roughly $3,250 per month. Just like little bro next door in Coquitlam, over in Port Moody, that same 2-bedroom is around $2,700. That's a difference of about $550 per month, which might not seem dramatic at first glance, but stretch that over a year and you're looking at over $6,600 saved. If you can set those savings aside, You will have a 5% down payment required for a home buyer to buy their first home in 5 years, or spend it all on ice cream, which doesn't sound like a bad idea. I might actually be tempted to do that. If we look at purchase prices of a home, we can see a difference in both the condo and the detached markets. Let's look at these two trendy and established neighborhoods that are close to transit and shops. In Vancouver, the dollar per square foot for a 2-bedroom condo in Kitsilano will cost approximately $1,086 per square feet, while the same home in Port Moody Center costs around $800 per square feet. For a detached home, the benchmark price in Vancouver is $2.3 million, while a home in Port Moody will go for $1.9 million. When you're buying a home in Port Moody, you're not just buying a home. You are buying into a lifestyle that is close in proximity to nature, water, and really good beer. Whether that's worth it depends on how much you value those things. By now, you're probably wondering if living in Port Moody is right for you. Port Moody is perfect for those who value a hybrid lifestyle, but it is especially amazing for active people who love the outdoors, or at least the idea of the outdoors. Young families who seek a slower pace near top-rated schools and safe neighborhoods. Remote workers who don't mind trading in an occasional, longer commute for the amazing lifestyle. Downsizers and retirees who value the walkable communities of Suburb and Newport Village, which also offer larger homes than they would find in Vancouver. Laid-back, community-focused people who believe that grabbing a drink should always involve a scenic view and a nearby food truck. This is a lifestyle city. If your ideal weekend includes fresh air, coffee, and maybe pretending you're more active than you actually are, you're going to fit right in. Port Moody might not be for you if you hate people, because this is a walking town. There's always people walking around, and they're friendly, and they're probably going to say hi to you. And if that makes you want to stab them in the eye with a fork, you probably shouldn't move here. If you hate the rain, because this is still the West Coast, and Port Moody is at the end of the Burrard Inlet and surrounded by mountains, it typically rains more here. If you have a long commute to work every day and are being married to the West Coast Express schedule seems like too much of a commitment. Or if you're looking for the cheapest option in the region, then you might have gotten off the SkyTrain one station too early. If your idea of nature is bringing home a plant, Port Moody might be a bit too much for you. So what's it really like living in Port Moody? It's relaxing, it's scenic, a little bit expensive, and very easy to fall in love with. The kind of place where you move to for practical reasons but end up staying because your lifestyle peacefully upgraded itself. If you're thinking about making a move here or just want to know what's available, reach out. I'm always happy to help. So please email me at info@happyhomesvancouver.com or send a text message to 778-688-6838 and let's get you settled into your happy home. If you found this video helpful and want to see more of it, I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel or share with a friend so you can help us help more people. In the meantime, check out part 1 of our 3-part series of the Tricities right here on this channel. We'll have that link for you in the show notes. Again, my name is Simon Liu, here to serve you here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.